Alrighty, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy White Album here, and let us welcome a brand new year. Yes sirree, it is now 2023, no longer 2022, so don't forget that when you're writing the date down on a piece of paper. Because that can't happen, especially if you're still in school, so good luck with that. But it is a brand new year. I actually had the idea of recording yesterday, at the moment it's Saturday, so that when it got uploaded today I could say, hey look, it's me from the past or some shit like that, but didn't get that far. Work had drained me and I was tired. I actually funny enough slept through the transitioning of the years. I knocked out around like 11 and I completely slept through the whole celebration of, hey look, it's a brand new year. No, I was out. Hopefully you guys didn't miss that. If you were out and about having fun at a party, hanging out with friends, family, but well, here we are, blessed to have made it another year. Let's keep on going. We're going to continue on with some Holy Night to start off the year. Started off easy, nothing too wild. So here we go. Last time we left off, we did meet a mysterious woman, the lady in green as I dubbed her. Something about her made the boy, the homeboy, Yujiro, I almost said Yujiro. Sorry, I was watching Baki. Sojiro. He was not too fond of her, so let's see what happens. Hopefully we can learn some more about her in this video. So here we go. Here we go. Hopefully we can learn something about her. I think this is him running off. Headed to his job. Okay, yep. So, alright. Here we go. This is where we last left off. When his eyes opened, his breathing had calmed. I wonder. What happened to Tobemaru when he tried to hit Aozaki? Actually, I think we've already... Yeah, we already read that part. Come on now. Okay, now I think we're good. Oh, okay. So we're actually starting on episode 2 now, or episode 3? Nights. Nights what? Okay, let's go on the second one. Just to keep these in order. There we go. So this was episode 1. This is now episode 2. Let's go on back. Oh, so are we gonna figure out what happened last night, or is this like the current night? So we'll see. Let's go. Let's go on. Let's continue. Nights. Nothing else, just nights. The night's what? The blackest night? Any Green Lantern fans that got that one? Alrighty, let me tell you how the events of yesterday transpired. Oh, here we go. We're actually learning about what happened last night, or the previous night that Sojiro was talking to Tobemaru about. Ooh, the stars in the sky, the prettiest sight you'll ever behold. On moonless nights, you must never look back, because you'll get absolutely throttled by something. Was it a lesson, or was it a warning? It was so very long ago. At the time, I could have not imagined what my very being would become. Ooh, I wonder what perspective this is from. One night, it came with that warning. I was filled with anxiety, so high that it made me want to burst into tears. So I fled to my grandfather's workshop. Unlike my grandfather, I knew, he smiled and kindly placed his hand upon my head. Yes, the Red Death follows your every step. I mean, the only person we knew whose grandfather is Aoko, so is this Aoko's perspective so far? Rather consoling me, he sent me home with only those haunting words. That night, I am certain that I sensed a shadow lurking behind me. Something, or someone, was watching me from afar. Then, little by little, year by year, it drew closer. Eventually, the presence that once felt like a spot on the horizon grew so close that I could feel its breath down the base of my neck. Oh, okay. Got like the little creepy music in the background. Of course, it was all in my mind. When I turned around, nobody was there. But that night marked the beginning. In hindsight, I later understood that the indescribable anxiety I felt was the dread of certain death. Ooh, the lights were flickering. Alright. I hope this is not copyrighted because I'll be a little mad, but I'll be honest, that actually kind of scared the shit out of me. Let me just turn down my headset a bit because that, well, I was not expecting that. So, well, you heard her, you know what she said. As much time has passed since that night. No, how much time has passed since that night? It lingered deep in the recesses of my mind where childhood memories are kept. And faded, storybook-esque memory. On dark nights, I could still hear the faint echo of my grandfather's words. But no matter how strong the wind may howl, or how entrancing the song of the girl next to me, I can never bury his ominous words completely. Ow, just bit my cheek. It's here. The girl beside me said. Alice's inflectionless voice spoke volumes of her role as the bystander. That night, there was only me and her. Okay, so this is how it'll go, I'm assuming. It was the night I would mark as the birth of who I am today. For what should have been quite the memorable night, it sure wasn't a promising start. Dense clouds blocked the starlight above like a black umbrella. Strong wind tore through the city, carrying the heavy clouds with it. The hands on the clock in the middle of the park pointed skyward, as if reaching for the moon. Unfortunately for them, tonight, there is no moon to point at. The winter air grew fiercer as the night wore on. Inhaling felt as though it would freeze me from the inside. The air chilled me to the bone, threatening to pass up my spine directly to my brain, to prevent my mind from being paralyzed, and to prevent my fingertips from becoming stone. I sparked the fire using my internal rhythm and emotion. I'm transferring tactile feedback to you. Good luck. Stand over there, and the engraved will-o-wisp will ignite. I respond to Alice with a nod. And then, for a moment, I saw the ground. My legs quivered ever so faintly. I told myself they were shaking from the cold, but I wasn't so sure. It probably is the cold. In reality, they might have been numbed by the cold, but by fear. I breathed a sigh of relief. My humanity must still be intact if my emotions are still present. Before I could sink into a pool of my own sentimentality, the sensations from the bounded field flowed from Alice into me. A transparent wall covered the entire park. An unrecognizable carpet rooted deep under the earth. Oh, here we go. Alice Kuonji's chants of the Mother Goose fairy tales permeated the night. Their sensations became one with my body. I felt goosebumps on my quivering right arm. Someone had trespassed. The goosebumps crept up my right arm like ants, and slowly but surely made inroads for my heart. Holding back the desire to drive them out, I waited them to reach a certain definitive position. A moonless night. The park's quaint streetlights were not enough to lift the darkness. The ants came to a stop. Far, far from my right arm, they had reached my very heart. In the darkness. To starboard, in the bushes about 30 steps back, on all fours, it was beckoning with its right hand. Soko! There. Or, there! I should have had more expression to that. The enemy's movement and my perception of it were in lockstep. I spun around. The enemy's arm stretched out like a spear. This lethal weapon aimed at the back of my head, brushed my hair at breakneck speed. With the omniscient view granted by Alice's ward, I managed to avoid it by the skin of my teeth. My hair fanned through the air from the violence of the attack. An attack grazed my cheek, and I felt a small sharp pain. It felt like the kiss of death. I switched the flow of my body's blood to a different cycle. Wait, what? Can that work? I feel like that would stop your heart, but you know. This is not in the realms of human possibility, so. The blood running through my veins at a few feet per second transmuted into an imaginary element. My body became a single circuit, and my heart transformed into a completely different engine. An unknowable motion of immeasurable heat. A mystic yet untapped by mankind, or humankind. That's the same shit. That made me who I am. The fire of life behind all miracles and fables. This is what we mages called magical energy. Sit. I turned around, set the enemy in my sights, and held up one hand. My arm was the agent of my will. My lack of experience meant my magecraft or my magecraft would be only possible with the use of vocalizations and gestures. Man, hold on. Let me get a drink of water before I continue to read. Magical formulae were engraved all over the park. All I had to do was ignite them. I needed to direct the flow of magical energy within my body into each formula. Typically, a mage acts as a conduit. Whether wired or wireless, the mage simply pours magical energy into the formula. Releasing this energy in the form of a projectile, stream, or any number of other methods would usually suffice. There we go. But in my case, it was the feeling of my limbs whipping out. Burn. I fought speed with speed. Man, it's now on fire. The enemy's arm, extended 10 feet forward, became engulfed in flames. It was nighttime at the park, the scene reminiscent of a campfire, but one in which the center of the flames contained a humanoid figure, wriggling like a shadow puppet. Ah, so this is what Sojiro's. Okay, so I'm assuming I know I'm getting a little ahead, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing Sojiro's perspective pretty soon. The flame subsided just as unnaturally as it had ignited. No crackling, no burning smell. Just burnt ozone. You can have the bounded field back. I'll check the remains. After telling this to Alice, I headed toward the motionless figure. I killed it. I killed it. Regardless of who my opponent was, I just took someone's life. My throat parched. I swallowed the truth that without this sense of reality, I would have become helpless. So hard and bitter, and impossible to swallow, but I tried to anyway. I was unnervingly calm. My heart pounded and my breath felt heavy, but my mind was nothing less calm. By the time I realized it, the charred remains were already in front of me. Bracing for a counterattack, I carefully examined the corpse. Everything seemed fine. The body lying slumped to the ground was nothing but ash. I wanted to see it. But something wasn't right. To begin with, its remains didn't smell organic. Not willing to believe my hunch, I took a closer look at the corpse's face. All that greeted me was a featureless white face of a mannequin. Damn it! They got us again. Screaming and kicking. Or what? Screaming, I kicked the mannequin. The corpse crumpled to ash and disappeared with the wind. No, this was no corpse. This was just a puppet. And for all our efforts to lure the master out, we had once again been tricked by familiar. My doubt, my first test out in the open, would be postponed, or my debut. would be postponed for another day. Oh, it's like an initiation type thing? Or it's just like, I had to kill some unliving thing in order to be say, hey, look, I'm a fucking mage, wizard, witch, warlock, sorcerer, sorceress, what other terms of a magical being? A shaman. A druid. There you go. Ugh. Will I ever pass this test? What? At that moment, I suddenly noticed something familiar in the corner of my eye. Something seemed strange about the slide on the... What? About the slide on the other side of the park. It appeared as though its shadow were larger than it could be. Was I still drunk on the high of battle? It took me a second to realize what it was. Who's there? Calling out was a mistake. Startled by my voice, the figure, wearing a familiar high school uniform, took a step back, and then it broke into a sprint, like someone running for their life. Or should I say, he was doing exactly that. After him, we've been spotted. In a rush, I shouted to my partner, but she hadn't even noticed the third-party presence in the first place. Though, it wasn't as if I could move by myself. Embarrassingly, the fight had taken more out of me than I have liked. Okay? No! Oh, get away. We need to catch and eliminate him. There was no time for niceties. For us, being seen here was a matter of life and death. Wait, get back here, you! Shaking off the numbness in my legs, I made for the park's exit. Had to admire his escape. The witness, party to the entire night's proceedings, had disappeared into the darkness of the residential district without a trace. Why the hell didn't I sense him in the field? Complaining to myself wouldn't bring back the figure in uniform. Bitter at my own incompetence, I gave up the chase. Though temporary, the park had become Alice's quote-unquote woods. For anyone within a few feet of the park, other park-goers' identifiable features and voices became murky, like the stuff of fairy tales. Tonight's proceedings may have had a witness, but if our identities were still hidden, then this was still a chance. That looked like a male from behind. I returned to the park. That uniform was, without a doubt, from my high school. That was a clue enough. If he was a schoolmate of mine, I had plenty of methods to flush him out. It's just one thing after another, huh? Amidst my grumbling, I set my priorities straight. Before some strange rumor spread, I need to seal the witness's mouth shut. Well, kind of too late for that, right? That was the highest priority. Quickly and without mercy. Looking up, I saw Alice's previously distant figure. Though she was in as much trouble as I was with her existence as Magnus also exposed, she had but one thing to say. This means trouble. Her statue-like figure, staring into the darkness, seemed more expressionless than calm. I was pissed off. Her inscrutable voice, is that how you say that? Voice resembled the moonless night so much it made me angry. I think you should be thanking the moon right now that said person didn't see your face because of the moonlight. Okay, I guess that was episode 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay, that was a little bit faster than I was expecting. So let's save again. That's probably the shorter chapters of the game so far. Blues in her name. Ow, yes. Ow. Ow. A-O. Blue. If you don't know Japanese, that's what that means. I'm assuming. From as little as I know, I believe that's what that is. Hold on. Hold on. I was somewhere right. Blue and green. I just looked it up. Alright. Back to the episode here. Alright, here we go. Next episode. Episode whatever now. 3, I'm assuming. I would assume that it's 3. Blue. Oh, episode 4 says it right there. Man, I am absolutely dumb. There really wasn't anything other way of saying this. I am a magician. Kind of like those witches in fairy tales who lived alone in the woods and performed miracles with the wave of a finger. While the popular depiction of it differs from reality, it's closer to the truth than you know. Just so we're clear, no, I don't fly through the sky on a broom. Oh, that's sad. I can't transform into animals or speak with small birds. That's a druid right there. I would know. I play Diablo. Modern mages are nothing so fanciful. Our existence sounds unbelievable, but we're quite grounded. Though it may seem like we can do anything, we're actually majorly constrained. And while I still have a lot to learn about it, this is my real job. Sounds like sounds a lot more romantic than being a high school student, right? Naturally, this is a secret. I just don't share with anyone. With anyone? I tried to say anybody and anyone, but I said anybody. Man, I need help. A mage must do everything in their power to conceal their work. Didn't work there, didn't it? That is the first and most important of the association's 10 laws. Not that I'm tempted to let the cat out of the bag in the least. My secret identity as an honor student is intact, and absolutely no good would come out of me revealing my true nature. If anything, it would only lead to more headaches. That's why I do everything in my power to keep it a secret. Of course, if I had accomplished anything as a magician by now, then maybe I'd see it differently. I fantasize about revealing my secret life's work to a single special person when I finally make something of myself. Yeah, it'd be pretty stellar to just confess one day, by the way, I'm a magician. That idea alone is enough to keep me from spoiling the big reveal, regardless of the association's rules. Oh, so she's like, yeah, when I find my one, I'll tell him. And then, if she's like, and I mean, fuck, if he wants, I could teach her kid too. My grandfather patted me on the head when I shared these thoughts with him. I don't know if it was praise or what, but I remember that his touch was gentle. I first learned that I would be succeeding my grandfather on the day I graduated middle school. When I returned home, there he was. Your elder sister left on a journey. From this day forth, you are the heir to the Alzaki. He said it in such a matter-of-fact way. I knew the Azaki family passed down this old tradition of magecraft, but to be honest, I never imagined I'd be the one to wield it. Oh, so it's like a select few? Even though it's like, oh yeah, my great-grandmother, she couldn't use it, but my grandmother could. Or grandfather could. It's like one of those things. I'm just assuming. Magecraft is supposed to be passed down to a single child. Okay, that would make sense. If there's like 2 people in the family. It was my sister's role to take the mantle, and I had no interest in dedicating myself to so many rules and routines. I had planned to live a normal life. I had hopes and dreams for the future. I felt bad for my sister, but I was determined to live my life my way. And while I managed to do just that for a time, I was blindsided by a vicious counterpunch. Since then, I've been thrust headlong into a world I had only observed from afar. It was a hell of a way to start high school, but I suppose it wasn't all that bad, all things considered. lot has happened since then. I was so dazed by this newfound life that a year of school motored right by. I was a second year before I knew it. Thankfully, nothing drastic had happened. The 6 months my roommate and I totally tried to kill each other, none withstanding. As it happens, I've got a natural talent with this magic stuff, so I have yet to have any hang-ups there either. I'm only human, after all. So I've had my fair share of headaches for sure, but I've never once did worry about my future. I thought my life would be smooth sailing all the way. No. Tell you that for a fact, no. If only everything had gone to plan last night.
どう?
Well, what? Alice Kuonji asked Aoko Alzaki the second she entered the house. Why do they have to say the whole name? Can I just say Al? I mean, I can, right? But her dark eyes succeeded where her voice failed to communicate the gravity of the situation. Search and destroy, baby. We gotta kill this fucker. Aoko took off her unflattering coat, hung it on the hanger, and sat down on the sofa. Alice sat across from her, with a table separating them.
そっちは?
Any progress with those things?
よくないわね。偵察に行けるのは7個ぐらい。ここのところ使ってばかりで、作り置きをする余裕もなかったし。
Not at all. I've only got 7 left that are any good for reconnaissance. I've been using them up fast and haven't had the time to make more. Alice's gaze drifted from Aoko to the box on the table.
あの夜、町を監視していた奴はいないの？町の偵察は完璧なんでしょ？そいつら。
Were none of them keeping watch that night? They never let you down when it comes to this sort of thing, have they?
それは昼間の話よ。夜間飛行は危険が多いわ。
During the day, no. But there is still quite the risk when flying them at night. Meaning they were the least used when needed the most, Aoko sighed.
そういうあなたは？朝は随分と強気だったけど。
Well, how are you faring? You seem pretty confident this morning.
ん？ああ、こっちは予定通りよ。
Yeah, I guess everything's good on my end.
明日までには絞り込めると思う。今朝、飛び丸にうちの生徒の自宅と行動時間を調べさせたから。
I'm pretty sure I'll know by tomorrow. I told TYPEMOON to look into all the students' addresses and schedules.
あの時間に公園をうろつくやつはめったにいないし、簡単に割り出せる。
Not many people wander the park that time of night, so it should be easy enough to figure out who it was.
そう簡単に行くの？
How can you be so sure?
行くわよ。伊達に生徒会に勤めてないわ。その程度のデータは揃えてある。
Because I didn't just join the student council to keep up appearances. I've been using my position to keep tabs on everyone.
月1のバイト先はおろか、
privacy, but,
親しい友人宅との移動時間、その優先順位まで調べ上げてるんだから。
I have info on everything from part-time jobs to friends' addresses to what they're up to in their spare time. Well, that's a real big break in privacy. I almost said promises. And privacy. You should be in jail, Aoko.
人には見せたくなかったリストだけど、そんな余裕ないでしょ？だから、そういうのが向いてる副会長にやらせたの。
It's a list I was hoping to keep secret, but we can't afford to do that now, can we? That's why I keep the vice president around. It's the kind of thing he does best. Incidentally, the creation of the secret file started the moment Aoko became student council president. The mere rumor of its existence was enough to strike fear into the entire student body.
そう。徹底しているわね。相変わらず。
As thorough as always, I see. Alice was only mildly surprised. It had been almost 2 years since they first started living together. She knew, as well as anyone, that when Aoko put her mind into something, she saw it through to the end.
ま、私もあれがこんな風に役立つとは思ってもみなかったけど。ほんと、備えあれば憂いなしとはこのことね。
Well, I never imagined I had to use it like this. but it's better to be safe than sorry. But what happened last night was far beyond a mere exception to the rule. This predicament should have not been even possible. Well, anything's possible. Like Kevin Garnett said, baby, More importantly, have you figured out what went wrong? And don't tell me it had anything to do with your link to the bounded field. Aoko glared at her. This ward was Alice's responsibility. If it was to blame for last night's trouble, Alice had to own up to her fair share. They just start fucking fist fighting right then and there. Oh. Aoko and Alice may have been roommates from partners, but it was a relationship of convenience. While lineage had brought them together, they were more like enemies than allies. Ultimately, they were just not a match. Yeah, I mean, one is a hothead and the other one's cool and collected, so... Where there was a blunder, it was punished. Where there was an opening, it would be attacked. If there was even an opportunity, the two of them would kill each other in the event of such a moment. Alice locked eyes with Aoko. Aoko's fierce gaze could make a grown man cower in fear, but Alice did not bat an eyelash. She just did. Assuming the bounded field was the problem, wouldn't this have happened countless times before? I suppose you're right. Aoko agreed, as the question reaffirmed her trust in Alice. So you're saying there's nothing wrong with it? I honestly can't say for sure. Alice answered as flatly as ever. A bounded field is like a sanctuary sealed away from the real world. Steps are taken whereby certain areas cut off from the outside world. There are various kinds of bounded fields. There are physical ones that close off an area behind a wall, and the less tangible ones that use mirrors, mist, or trees to conceal that which occurs within. However, when closing off an area to the outside world, you cannot avoid communicating the abnormalities' existence. In other words, the area may have been closed off to the outside world, but it was impossible to hide the fact that it's closed off. In time, someone will take interest in a sealed off area even if they cannot see what's going on inside. Well, some might say this is putting the cart before the horse. The ideal field would be one that was both undetectable and impervious to interference from the outside. That was exactly the kind Alice had generated in the park that night before. That would assume that this figure was in the park probably doing shit he probably wasn't, or snooping, and she probably put up that bounded field and he got stuck in there. Even if someone has a reason to be in a place, they shouldn't enter if you've made them forget their reason for being there. Oh, so she does like a Men in Black type thing where it's just like, hey, you were never here, and they're like, what? And then that's it. It takes an amount and fuck. It takes an fuck. I know how to speak. Sorry. It takes an immense amount of time and energy to create a field that produces a temporary illusion around a location that you wish to conceal. But they prove extremely effective for at least an hour or so, right? Aliceの鏡を使った一級品だし、途中で破れることもない。事実、入ってきたのはあの人形だけだとはっきり感じられた。これで完璧じゃなかったら何が完璧なのよ。At the top of it all, it was top class, made from your mirrors, and it's not like they shattered while we're using it. The only other presence I felt inside was that of that puppet. If it wasn't a perfectly constructed, bounded field, then what is it? I have no idea. The trees were prepared perfectly.
森は数日かけて栽培したものだし、今まで通り信頼できる結界よ。
I
けど例
cultivated.
外
Oh
があっ
fuck.
たの
Okay,
なら、
sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
どこかで見落としがあったのね。
I cultivated the trees and plants over several days, and it's always proved to be a reliable field. But maybe, just maybe, there was something I didn't account for. Though Alice's words conceded the possibility, her eyes expressed her confidence that she had been overlooked. Nothing.
参った。こうなると、一番いいのは、あいつが人形使いだってパターンね。それならかろうじて納得できる。相手が魔術師なら、結界の侵入ぐらいできるでしょうし。
Well, shit. In that case, we better hope that the witness was the puppeteer. Which would make sense. A mage could probably be able to penetrate it.
問題は、侵入した時の違和感をどうやって消したかってことだけど。
Something else bothers me, though. How do you avoid detection? The thought of being targeted by this individual was pretty terrifying. If they were able to penetrate Alice's field, it can only mean that their skill in magecraft was far superior to Alice's. Alice, in her current state, would be completely helpless against such a foe.
その線はないわ。
Fucking Dragon Balls or chocolate bonbons? Those don't look like mirrors to me. I've already determined that it was not a mage.
彼は部外者よ。ムクドリはともかく、ロビンが後をたどれなかったもの。魔力の気配は全くなし。誰かの魔術で操られている犠牲者というのもないわね。
This was most certainly an outsider. The Starlings are one thing, but not even a Robin was able to follow him. There was no traces of magical energy, so that rules out a magical pawn. Damn, when your two magical beings can't fucking figure out one. Well, from my perspective, it's just like, it's just a normal ass dude, and you couldn't trace him? That's kind of sad. Oko was quickly running out of straws to grasp at, and that meant she was out of questions to ask. All she could do was call it bad luck and leave it at that.
魔術師の秘密を見られて、おまけに目撃者を逃がした。か。普通の高校生の悩みじゃないな。
First you get found out that you're a mage. Then you let the witness get away. Why can't I just have normal high schooler problems? The sofa groaned as she leaned back. Her gaze went up to the brown ceiling with a sigh. It wasn't much of a view, but she was becoming increasingly depressed.
青子、覚悟を決めておいて。
Aoko, make up your mind. Her roommate's voice seemed indifferent. But Aoko just kept staring up at the wooden ceiling.
それとも、あなたにできないのなら、私が言ってあげてもいいけど。
If you're not up to the task, I can take care of it myself. The cool-mannered girl's statement carried an equally icy implication. Aoko took the words, and as slowly with as much sincerity as she could muster. It was like trying to swallow molten lead.
そうだ。覚悟なんて、もう決めたでしょ。
She's right, and I've already made up my mind. She's like, I don't want to be a mage anymore. That's where the game just ends. But looks like she's made up her mind, and I'm making up my mind too to end this video. So let me just save. Let me just mash save a few times. Bam, bam. So that's how we're going to end today's video. So we find out what actually happened the previous night that, you know, what I'm assuming, quotes on that, because we kind of already know, that Sojiro saw and what he explained to Tobimaru. So now we got to see what was actually happening there. So it looks like Aoko and Alice were trying to kill something. What it was, we have no clue. I mean, it was like a puppet, but it wasn't the real target, so something's amiss. And now somebody has solved them. So now Aoko has to make up her mind on something. We'll find out what that is next time. But now, again, she's breaking a lot of privacy here with keeping a list of people there. You know, that pretty sure that's illegal in some way, but you know, probably isn't. But with that being said, hopefully you guys did enjoy. And if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all guys next time. This is your boy White Album, signing out.